The cool thing about Ambient Mesh is it's a lot more modular. So there are two aspects to the sidecar, right? So there's the L4 filtering and the L7 filtering, and Ambient Mesh separates the two. Instead, now what you have is something called a ztunnel or a zero trust tunnel, which is not Envoy based, it's Rust based now. And that runs on a per node level. So it's deployed as a daemon set, meaning it runs as one pod per node. And that's the proxy that takes care of all the L4 processing and L3 processing. So MTLS basic authorization handles all of that. The L7 filtering is still handled by an Envoy proxy, but now it's a separate component. It's called a waypoint proxy. And again, the main difference is that it's no longer attached to your application, right? So these are separate components. The ztunnel is deployed as a daemon set. That's one pod per node. The waypoint proxy is deployed separately from your application. It scales separately, right? And you can attach it to various namespaces based on your requirement. So now you have the option of choosing like, okay, this specific workload requires L4 but doesn't really need the L7 stuff, which is really resource intensive. So I'm just going to keep it. I'm not going to give it any waypoint proxy. I'll just keep it in the ambient mesh namespace, right? It has the L4 advantages. It doesn't have the overhead of dealing with the L7 stuff. So it's a lot more bang for your buck is what I would say with the ambient mesh.
So using the 100 pods, 100 sidecars, this would be, I don't even know what to call it because it's sidecar less, but it's at the
Now
node level.
it's just one pod per node, depending on how many workloads there are in the node. And then again, the waypoint proxy, which is the L7 component, that also scales by itself, right? So if you start seeing, okay, you have a lot more L7 stuff you're dealing with in your applications, the waypoint proxy can scale independently to deal with that, right? So it doesn't have to scale with your application, it scales independently of it, which is pretty cool.